Hello, I'm Linda and I'm here with my friend Paul, and we are cooking with steam, and this is the podcast Demystified as we explore home cooking in a modern world. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Linda.
And we have a special guest.
Special guest day.
Special guest day, yay!
Hooray for us.
Okay, Paul, handing over to you.
So we're joined today by Niall. Now, we're not going to use Neil's last name because we don't want to get him in trouble.
Don't get me in trouble, no, thank you.
So Niall is a colleague of mine from my proper day job, not the cooking with steam mess about that we pretend that we do.
Does that mean we have real jobs?
It's questionable, I suppose. But
I know I do.
Well, yeah.
No, it is. Anyway, back to Niall.
Numbers.
But we are very excited for that today.
So Niall is here and we're going to do some work together over the next couple of days. But funnily enough, Niall has had some experience in something that we think might be of interest to all of you out there listening, which is MasterChef.
Yes.
So Niall is a competitor on...
Contestant.
Oh, it's a competitor, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're a contestant on which season of MasterChef Australia? Do we remember?
I can't remember which season, but it was the one that Andy won.
Okay, right. So for any of the MasterChef gurus out there, whatever season
Maybe
that
three. Back in the good old days.
Now, it's fair to say that we have had a brief chat. You did have to sign a confidentiality...
I seem to remember that I did sign something pretty much my life away.
Okay, so our legal expert here, Linda, what can you say?
No, I'm the accountant. I think we can just talk about general stuff. We weren't going to ask for any dirt or anything interesting.
No.
Oh, I can tell you some interesting things.
No. Well, okay.
So what was the process of getting into it?
Process.
And why did you?
And this is
why did you apply?
I used to watch the UK. I'm from England, so I used to watch the UK.
Don't
MasterChef.
hold that against him.
Yeah, thanks.
And he's already upset about the cricket. So
I am an Australian citizen, though, so I can sit on both sides of the fence. And the UK MasterChef, which is where it originated, was really about home cooks cooking in their homes, and the judges would go to their homes and they would cook a dish or whatever it may be. It wasn't like a reality TV thing. It was just people that enjoyed cooking and showing what they could do. So I liked that. And then when I moved over here, they launched the Australian MasterChef, and I watched probably the first couple, and it was beginning to get a bit glamorized sort of thing and a good following. But I thought, I think it maybe got to the third series. I'll just apply. I love cooking. I loved it. Love everything about food. So you fill out a form that took me probably about 4 days. Not because me thinking about it. It's just there was that many forms you had to fill out about your personal life.
Because you were in the wine industry.
I was in the
previously.
wine industry.
Yep. So not unfamiliar with hospitality.
So I've been in hospitality as well for a few years. So for me, it was all about the wine and food. So that's why I really...
It's the same for me.
That was my story. Yeah, well, everyone's, But that was going to be...
Yours is swayed one way really badly. It's like 80-20.
I know, exactly.
But you know how people talk about wine and food, and to me that was interesting. It wasn't just about drinking wine and food, which is obviously great, but it's about matching and regionality. So, this was the stage where people had stories, and I was thinking, what stories do I have that is going to be remotely interesting to anybody? Not many, but wine and food matching and regionality, I thought would be a story. Plus, I think at the time my mum had just passed away. I thought I'll throw that in there as well. Go for the sympathy vote. Everyone else does. And so I filled out this massive long form, and pretty much within a week or two, I got a phone call saying, "Okay, yep." And you had to then take some photographs of your dishes at home and send those in. Talk about what ingredients used and why.
Do you remember what those dishes were?
I remember what I practiced. I remember I did a tarte tatin. I think I've shown you the photographs of that.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't remember what else. I just did a few things. But then eventually they then said, okay, you need to come for like an audition.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in Sydney, and we went to this culinary school place where there was like a kitchen, but you had to have brought the dish with you. So you couldn't have cooked, you weren't cooking it there and then.
Yeah.
You had to bring it with you. So I was like, well,
what am I done anywhere?
Could have been done anywhere, but you did have to talk about it and how you did it and stuff. But I was like, well, what are you going to take with you that's going to be nice, that's going to be cold, really? Probably a dessert, but I'm not really a dessert person. So I went and I did a like a tuna tartare type dish with a few Asians. So I made a little sauce on the day and dressing, I suppose,
Yeah.
and did all that. And then you go up and you present it, and they're not even judges; they're just like the producers probably. And first thing they said is, "Where did you buy the tuna? How long ago did you buy it? How have you kept it?" Because they're obviously going to try it and they don't want to get sick. So I said all that, did all the. Of course, I went to the fish markets at 5 a.m. this morning, and I actually watched them cut the tuna and anyway, and that was that. And then I think there was about 5 or 6 stages.
Wow!
Until I got the call, and it was the first year, those listening, that they filmed it in Melbourne.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was the first 2 or 3 were in Sydney, and then into Melbourne. So they flew you to Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
And put us up in a really, really nice, terrible hotel.
Really?
Well, it was okay. It was
Dumb.
okay, but it was okay.
Yeah.
I'll say okay. But then they also, were sharing rooms with other contestants
Oh,
who you'd
really?
never met before.
Sharing with randoms?
That would be hard. Oh, no, that would be really
There is
difficult.
stories I don't know about who listens to this that I could tell you about the person I shared with, but hopefully he never hears it. But I'm not going to tell you because it was some.
Tell me later.
Yeah, I'll tell you later. It was not good. So you shared a room with somebody, and then they had the first day of filming, and you had to bring 2 sets of clothes because the opening scenes were going to take 2 or 3 days to film. So you're going to need a change of clothes, but they had to be the same clothes because for continuity. So it looked like it was all on one day, but it took like 2 or 3 days to film.
I would better do that.
So seriously, thus far, can we just talk about the cooking part of this thus far?
I haven't physically cooked it.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing, right?
So you think, well, obviously there's something about you that makes them think...
You're a good-looking rooster.
Oh, yeah. Well, we all know that. It was a few years ago. I had a bit more hair then. But yeah, so you think, okay, I'm in with a chance. And they did all this filming, but while they're doing the introduction filming of everybody coming and walking in and all of that stuff, the producers are going around interviewing certain people. And you think, why are they interviewing them and no one's come up to me? And no one ever came up to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, funnily enough, do you think that the producers already know who's going to be moving to the next stage because they're interviewing them? And the ones that aren't?
Conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy theory, I'm telling you right now. The ones that they were interviewing are the ones that went through to the next stage.
Okay.
But everyone in that group of, I think it was about 70, everybody had to cook one dish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is in and before you sort of.
This is in the filming. No, this is. Well, yeah, you were being filmed outside in a kitchen.
Yeah.
Then you had to wheel the dish in.
Yeah. Okay.
To the 3 judges.
Yeah. Matt, George, and
Gary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was over 2 or 3 days, so you were told.
Did you
this
know
is your
which
day.
Okay, right.
You were told on the morning if it was your day,
mm-hmm.
and then you had to go and buy all the food on the day. They took you to the markets. You buy all your ingredients. They gave you money to do it.
What was the budget?
Can't remember.
Rubbish.
No, I can't remember what it was, but there was enough for what you need. You're only cooking for one dish.
Yeah.
So I don't know, $100, say.
How long did you get to prep?
Oh, the actual. So you couldn't touch the food until it was your go. Yeah, I think you had an hour.
Okay.
Hour to prep and cook one dish,
yep.
which you'd already told them the dish that you were going to cook because you'd already cooked that dish previously for the producers, and they tried it and tasted it. So that was another stage that we'd had to do. So we'd done that, and then you get to cook it in front of the 3 judges.
Yep, right.
And through all of this process, before you even got into the kitchen, were you thinking, come on, Neil, what are you doing? It's taken me this long, this hard. I've had all these interviews.
Is it?
Am I sure I want to get in front of a camera and like in front of 40 million people?
Well, I didn't think about the number of people watching it, but I thought it's okay because not many of them saw me. But that's a whole other story. So, like, I was confident in the dish. The producers, everyone that had tried the dish, couldn't say anything bad about the dish.
Okay, what was the dish?
It's going to sound really boring now because it was like 10 years ago, but it was a rack of lamb with some roasted potatoes, some braised onions, a red wine reduction, and a mint oil.
Okay.
And there was nothing wrong with that on any day of the week.
I don't think so. And this was, remember, home cooking, people that love cooking at home, but making it nice and trying to present it well.
The first Australian MasterChef winner, Julie Goodwin, is a proper
home cook. Yeah, and
she's
yeah.
And since I think we've got into different territory with what MasterChef.
Well, now you have to be a professional home cook to be able to get anywhere near it.
And you're getting people that are doing are training solely for that.
Yeah.
Or that
purpose.
want to be chefs.
Making
Not-
gels at home on a
Yeah.
Tuesday night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got centrifuges in their kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, it was quite funny. One of the things I had to do was create a dessert on paper. And I'm like, I'm not a dessert person. So I just wrote down a load of rubbish and then said, and stick it in a blast chiller. Because that's what they seem to do on the show. Stick it in a blast chiller and bring it out to serve. And it got me on.
So you get to the stage where it's your day.
Which was the first day.
The
first day of cooking.
You get an hour to prep. And
No,
then,
you get an hour to do everything.
Okay.
So you go, it was 3 at a time. So 3 people would get an hour.
Yeah.
And everyone else is just sat there, like, watching, bored out of their brains. Because, watching people prep
Yeah.
isn't fun.
So
they would then go wheel in. And
You
then they would
wheel-
all come out one at a time. And then they'd be like, yay, I've got through to the next round. Or they'd be like, no, I haven't. And everyone would be like, boo. And
Yeah.
cheer. Because you're like an audience. And everyone's like really pumped, trying to support each other. Because
Oh,
we're
that's
all in
nice.
it together. Yeah, which was
That's
nice.
a nice feeling.
It was.
So you wheel into Gary, George, and
No.
no,
No.
you didn't get in front of them.
Yes, I did.
Well,
But
Is this territory
Matt-
we can't talk about?
no, I can. Well, probably not. I don't know. But anyway, I got to wheel my dish in, and Matt Preston had already gone. Did I not tell you that?
left for the day.
I have no idea. They hadn't mentioned it. No one told me. And then the other judges just acted like he was there, and I'm like, he's not even here.
Wow, this is bizarre. Right?
So I'm now just going for 2 judges.
Yeah.
So they then came up and they, as they always do, they cut through the lamb first thing they do just to see how it's cooked and, perfect.
Yeah.
No one said anything. No one even, they just ate it and said nothing. And then George put his finger in my mint oil and said, that's probably one of the best things we've had all day. Bear in mind I'm at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I've been there all day. Yeah, great. And then they just sat down and Gary just goes, so why are you doing this? And I said, well, I want
My
to...
mum died.
I want to know. I wasn't going to go straight in. I just said, I'm going to go into this. I'm going to... I love wine. What I'd love to do is go around the country exploring the wine from a region, the food from the region, and create dishes, matching it with the wine. That's what I'd said the whole process up until now. And Gary says, that's a bit boring, isn't it? Bearing in mind, pretty much every chef has done that for the last 10 years now.
Yeah.
But he said, no, that's boring. So he goes, so I'm just going to say no. And I was like, okay. And then George said, well, he said no. If I said yes, we're only 50-50 because there's only 2 of us. So I'm just going to say no too.
And that's it.
That was the end of my... And I literally was like looking behind me going, right, come on. Someone's going to pop out in a minute and tell me that's... Because they had nothing bad to say about anything.
Right, so
what I mean is, yes...
the problem with
Wow.
the problem with your dish doesn't exist. It's your story.
Which I told the producers from start to finish.
Yeah.
It might have been different if Matt Preston had been there.
Well, in hindsight, I would love to have said, I don't think that's fair because there's only 2 of you. Where's the 3rd judge? This is not good enough. And then the producers would have said, well, we don't care.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah. Because you're so nervous, like the anxiety, it's stressful, right?
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh, I can
Cameras
imagine.
everywhere moving in and stuff. And if you're not sort of, used to it. And yeah, it was tough. But there is an end to the story.
Okay.
which-
No, I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
So I begrudgingly watched it when it was aired, and I was on the first episode of that series once they aired it, probably for about 3 seconds. That's how much airtime I got, which is fine because I wasn't doing it for airtime.
Well, Andy Warhol said everyone would get there 15 minutes. So
right, well, not
you're on your
quite.
way.
Not
You're on your
quite.
way.
But I do have stills of those 3 seconds, which I
excellent.
bring out now and again.
Free drinks.
Yeah. And
Must.
anyway, so it got through, and funnily enough, the morning after I got told to leave, I had breakfast with Andy's mom because Andy was so young when he went on MasterChef, because obviously now he's a judge on MasterChef. He was so young that he brought his mum with him.
Good.
That's gorgeous.
Which is lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she was very nice, and he was very nice too. I had breakfast with his mum as I was about to go on to a taxi to the airport to go back to Sydney. But then eventually it got to the grand final episode, and I thought, do I watch it? Do I really want to watch it? So I watched it. And at the very beginning of the grand final episode, they go, welcome to MasterChef, whatever year it was. What a fantastic series we've had, where we have had some of the best dishes we have ever had on MasterChef. And there on the screen was my dish.
No way.
Way.
Wow.
And I looked at it and went,
Really?
Genuinely, 100%. There was my dish on the finale episode.
Wow. Well, that oil must have been really bloody nice.
Not nice enough.
Well,
No, but I don't think there wasn't a problem with your dish. It was the story, and you didn't pull out the dead mum card soon enough.
But what annoyed me more was the fact that they knew my story beforehand, and it was like, just get you on to make up some numbers, and then we can just throw you out.
So how many days in total did you commit to this?
I had spoken to my full-time job and said I could be gone for a day, which I was, or I could be gone for 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever the filming was. You had to have, and they were very good. Like they said, you can take some unpaid leave, and they would have a job for you when you got back. And then I had to knock on the door the next day. I'm back.
Didn't go so well.
Yeah,
my story's rubbish.
wow.
Interesting. Opens up all sorts of
does,
questions.
doesn't it? So it was quite stressful. I can imagine having to cook and prep in an hour.
it was, but well,
you've got to really plan, haven't you? Because you've got.
Well,
to
you knew.
really
I mean, you had your dish, right? So, and I wasn't cooking a dish with 400 ingredients.
No.
Lamb, potatoes, mint oil, sauce, braised onions. Simple prep.
Reduction.
Yeah.
Now, still, there's a few steps there.
Yeah, you do. You are like I was. Like you are finally getting a bit nervy and.
Can you talk? Are you asked to talk?
Yeah, they try and ask you questions. Yeah,
that's
but of
tough.
course everyone's new to it, so people are concentrating and trying to talk and cook at the same time in front of cameras, and it's not.
Wow! Did anyone make it like monumental stuff up, where they just got halfway through and went, this isn't going to work?
Not that I'm sure. Yeah, there's some dishes that weren't cooked through, and
Yeah.
I think someone did a chicken ballantine type in poached and hadn't cooked it through, and fair enough. See you later. Yeah. Oh, hang on, I've got another bit.
I bet you someone that messed
hang on.
up fundamentally got through.
Listen, the very next person that went in after me, the very next. So I've just been rejected, and then they interview you afterwards, and they say, how do you feel, and blah blah blah. It's embarrassing.
Did you?
No,
I feel
My
totally
poor mother.
rejected.
But no, they. So then the next girl went in with her dish, and she came out looking all sad, right? And everyone was like, oh. And she goes, yeah, they hated my dish. And everyone was like, oh. She said, but don't worry, they said I can come back tomorrow and have another go. I'm like,
Righto.
really wasn't on that list to go forward.
You just wow! They just didn't want you on the show.
No.
Really?
No. But they wanted me.
Okay,
They wanted me.
They wanted your dish though. For
Well,
the
they wanted
grand final.
just to humiliate me for
No.
for all my friends to take the out of me for the next 15 years.
Would you do it again?
Not now.
No, I wouldn't do it now.
No.
And I cook for a living.
Yeah.
I would not.
If something came up that was really inspiring to do,
Yeah.
then maybe, but not that.
Would you do I know it doesn't exist anymore, but would you do a My Kitchen Rules type thing?
No, because it's all. Well,
it's all set up.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say set up, but it's all for. At the beginning, it was about the people and the cooking, not about ratings. Even though it probably was about ratings, I didn't think of it as that.
Yeah, it's lost its shine though to a degree now. I think. I just have no interest in it at all.
No, I won't. I'll occasionally, if it's on. Well, not that I don't have much time to watch TV anymore. I have a 3-year-old daughter, so.
No, I don't like it for that reason. I liked MasterChef season 1 because I thought it was a really good show, and people who were home cooks, just like all of us, just stuffers doing their best. Some were obviously really good cooks, but you felt like you could identify with them. And the last time I tuned in, it was, they were making foam or doing things with chillers and, really complicated stuff. And I thought, I'm not interested.
And these people
in
are coming in at the
professionals.
beginning and being able to do that at the beginning.
It's not home cooks.
Yeah, but
And I guess the show's
thing
changed.
the thing that I've always sort of come back to, especially with that, having worked in restaurants and all of that, and you see a lot of the MasterChef contestants that get a bit further than you did, as an example. But
that would be most.
But you see a lot of them go into the restaurant world, right? Because that's
for
their dream.
a job. Yeah, they start working in kitchens.
So they start working in kitchens, and then they eventually, some open their own restaurants. The thing with it is preparing one dish in a set period of time is one thing. Preparing an entire menu and managing a team in a restaurant and serving customers that are paying full tote odds is a totally different world.
Why do you think I said, when they said, what do you want to do, or what is your goal? It was like, I do not want to work in a restaurant.
Yeah.
I do not want to run or open a restaurant, because that didn't appeal to me in the slightest, because I knew what
but that's
went
boring.
into it.
Didn't you hear what Gary said? I'm joking, mate.
But it's true. Like, people, I want to open up a dessert bar place. I'm just like,
and that's all fine, right? And
if that's what you really want to do,
and they do
I had
but
no intention of doing it.
The point isn't the point of opening a business for the business to be successful. And I would put it out there that the vast majority of MasterChef contestants that have tried haven't lasted much past sort of
Well, we were talking about it earlier. There are very few that have gone on to be very successful and great for them.
Yeah.
And it tends to be the ones that don't win who come, second or third.
But that's like the singing show, Australian Idol.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's always the guys that come second or third that end up being the superstars. Anyway, that's really interesting. I don't know if I could ever do that. Because they did have MasterChef Professional for a while. And when I was actually working in a kitchen, we were toying around with the idea of sending one of our crew. He was sort of tempted. He was a bit of a larrikin. Figured he could have got through. But everyone that was so scared of failing and not being able to get a job in their profession following
because of
being
it.
kicked off MasterChef early. So no one entered. Or MasterChef Professional. So no one entered.
But again, it would have been the same thing. It wouldn't have been how good you are as a professional chef. It would have been, okay, what's your story? How can we...
Yeah, the story's obviously a much bigger part of it.
The thing is, if there is a new MasterChef, I've got so many more stories since then that I could probably really milk it if I wanted to.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
So many other bad things have happened in my life since then that I can...
Yeah. But who knew?
I had no idea.
Interesting, though.
No, I had no idea, because I don't pay that much attention. I don't follow that kind of celebrity stuff.
But, to me, just to sort of recap, the one thing was that very first day, they were only interviewing certain people, and you were like, why are they coming to them and not to me? And then those are the ones that went through. So they already knew.
Mm. So the producers sounds like the producers
Had made a call before the first cook.
So the woman that got asked to come back and cook the next day, did she get through?
No, I don't think she did. I think she screwed it up again.
Carmen's a bitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you
Well,
go.
it is very interesting. And do you still like home cooking?
Yes. But as I said, I have a 3-year-old now, and my time's a little taken elsewhere.
So,
but yes, I do. I love food.
Busted out a good Petivier recently after the advice of someone.
Yes, I did.
Won a in-work competition.
Yes,
so
I did.
That was pretty good.
And now I get to judge the next in-work competition.
That's true, yeah. So, a little cooking competition with him.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what do you still cook that lamb dish at home for your family? Or you've just been so turned off it that that's it?
To be honest,
It's
I
dead
don't
to
even
me.
know when the last time I did cook a rack of lamb. I do, yes, cook a few lamb dishes, but not that. No, I haven't put that exact dish together since.
See?
We're going to have to get some photos, I think. Have you got a photo of that dish?
Of course I have. It's a screenshot.
It's
It was off the grand final episode.
On every device.
All
that you
social
have.
media, mate.
Can you send
your
it
email
to us so
signature.
we can post it on our social media?
Yes.
Is it what is
Are
it?
we allowed to?
Why wouldn't it? He made
It's just a screenshot from the.
Yeah, yeah.
It's from a TV screen.
He made
from
it.
my TV.
Yeah, but it's still owned.
So did you sign off?
No, it would be owned by MasterChef. I don't think
No,
you
I've
can.
taken a photograph of my television, right?
Yes, but it's owned by...
Okay, I'll tell you what. How about you make the dish, take a photo of it, send it to us,
So
and
this is
then
what
we'll
it.
post it.
This
This is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like.
This is what a rejected MasterChef dish looks like.
Yes.
Cooked perfectly. See, that's the thing that annoys me, I think. Like, if you've...
It's one of the things that would annoy you from this whole thing.
One
Yes.
of many. But if you cook it perfectly...
But why
You
would
get
you
some
say
good
the mint
commentary
oil,
on, like-
best thing, one of
Yeah.
the best things all day, and then someone's gone in his ear, no, he's going.
Because
Yeah.
it's boring.
You're like, oh.
Boring. Well,
But the
tell
dish
me-
wasn't boring.
No, not at all. In fact, I'm going to ask, Neil, how do you make mint oil?
Let me just go back to you. So in a mortar and pestle, your fresh mint, sugar, salt, grind it up to a paste.
Brown sugar, white sugar, palm
I just
sugar?
use white sugar.
White sugar.
This before I even knew what palm sugar was.
Okay.
Just some white sugar for the what's the word I'm looking for? Just for the abrasion
Yeah.
to bring the
You
mint
should
down
not
to
look
a
at me when
paste.
you're asking that
Okay.
question. You should look at the
Well, you've been
fella
doing
next
these
to you.
podcasts. I'm
No,
sure
no,
you're
you
knowing
should look
like
at the bloke next to you.
So for abrasion to a literally like a whole bunch of mint will go down to pretty much a tablespoon of paste, and then a bit of balsamic vinegar just to loosen it up, then olive oil to make the oil, and then you just let it sit and infuse until the very end, and then the mint flavour will go through the oil. Simple.
Wow. And sparingly on the side of the dish over the lamb?
Yeah, just
Okay.
not. I put a little bit on the lamb, and then just made it look a little bit
Pretty.
fancy. Yeah.
Oh.
Dotted it around the plate. Yeah, and don't forget I made a red wine reduction as well, which I also made with a really good bottle of red, which I used on the budget that they gave me. And that even got a viewing on, you could actually see the brand of the wine.
What was it?
Am I allowed to say?
Yeah, why not?
What's
it
the
was
brand of
it was
wine?
a Voyager Estate from Margaret River Cabernet
WA.
Sauvignon.
Yeah.
A very
Nice.
nice bottle of
Yeah.
Cab Sav, which I should have just drank.
Could you do that while you were cooking? Could you have, like I do, a glass?
see, you're so
And
nervous
did they
that.
feed you? Actually, that was the other
Oh,
thing.
in the hotel, and while you were there, they did.
Was it any good, or was it just rubbish?
It was I can't even remember, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Be
No,
interested to know what MasterChef feeds
Was-
MasterChef contestants.
What's the hotel in
To
the
be honest, with you, my
city?
anxiety was that bad I couldn't eat anyway. I was so nervous.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Was it in the city, the hotel, or was it on one of the fringes like Carlton or...
No, it was in the
Flemington?
city.
Was it? Okay.
You're more interested in the hotel.
No, just the whole... I'm scared of what to ask you that, might get us all into trouble and we get a...
Well, you could just say no
Not that MasterChef are going to listen and then
to
go,
this ever.
hey, what were you doing? You're not allowed to ask that. Take that podcast down. That would be quite controversial.
Yeah,
I'd
that would
like
give
to
you
see
some
them
more,
Try, wouldn't
yeah.
it?
Traction.
Interesting. Yes.
Oh, don't worry, we got some good traction because I got upset with influencers the other day.
What did you get upset with influencers for? Asking for freebies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Did
there
you-
was an interesting follow up. The Channel 7 put on a story online about
Exactly
a couple of influencers who were very upset about being,
Called
sort
out.
of called out. And it
By
was
John
quite
Leslie.
sympathetic to the influencers. There was this huge sort of article, and I didn't know who wrote it because otherwise we would have written back and saying, hey, do you realise, you're quite sympathetic to the influencers and fine, saying, take a stick to them and cow brand them, but
I was.
I know you wanted to, but it's a big issue a lot of restaurants and other businesses are facing. And yet it made it sound like, oh, these poor influencers, they're just getting picked on. And I thought, don't think Channel 7 have really got the right end of the stick here.
Yeah, there's so many ways you can go with that.
No, there isn't.
Well, I know you're saying it's rubbish. You're saying it's rubbish, and they're saying that they're going to bring in money to your restaurant by putting in a good thing. And so, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing, but that's their job.
No, like I said to Linda, I said if a restaurant chooses to engage with an influencer, fine, no issue at all.
But
That's
it's if
their
they
choice.
don't, and then the influencers calls you out.
Just out of nowhere,
Yeah.
just a cold call. Hey, give me free stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
And there's
do you know who I am?
But there's
Yeah.
no feedback on, okay, well,
on
prove
it.
to us that you're going to, if I give you this free meal of, $400 worth of value, what am I buying? Directly relate
Give me a number.
The number of people you are going to actually come in. What's my $400 that I spend with you going to turn into? Because if you can't measure it, you can't monitor it, you don't do it as a business owner.
Yeah.
So
Don't mess with the finance lady.
Yeah. And they'll be like, 60,000 people will listen to it, or 600,000 people. Yep. What does that mean?
Big deal.
Yeah.
You're an influencer.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're here. Ex-MasterChef contestant.
Is that on my resume?
I don't know, is it? Actually,
No.
is it?
No. I don't think so.
Do you tell people?
No, because everybody I know tells people. Like, everyone like yourself thinks it's great to bring it up whenever they see me.
No, that's not. I reckon I've brought it up once.
Well,
I gave you a bit of stick.
we all know a
Today.
few other people. We all know a few other people that work with me that like to bring it up on numerous occasions.
Yeah, but that's not me.
That's because they're not funny enough to think of something original on their own.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they don't have a compelling story to go on MasterChef. I know that's right, neither do you.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
That's been really interesting.
Thanks, mate.
It's all right. My pleasure.
That was
Thank you for
inside
having me.
info about MasterChef. So if you go on and you don't get interviewed by a producer, just pack your shit.
Well-
You're going home.
And they did ask me if I wanted to stay in the hotel for another few days because they booked the room for another few days, of which I said, put me on the first plane back to Sydney, please.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Gee, thank you, but no.
Yeah.
And yet, the other night, I love watching Rick Stein. And so his shows, and there was one really early one on the other night, and he lost his nut at hotel restaurants because he was just travelling a lot. He was a lot younger. He'd been travelling a lot, and he just felt like something simple. And yet it was always this, and they saw the crew, and there'd be this complicated sort of menu. He said, I just feel like something, not a curry, and he just went off his nut, and I thought...
Because that was his thing, right? It was
Yeah.
about simple ingredients and
and I thought,
local ingredients
Yeah.
matched with a lovely wine. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
See?
You're ahead of your time, mate.
I think
I used to, but he was, I mean, jokes aside, I used to watch his early shows when I was, a lot younger in England. He was one of the people that got me into thinking about food and cooking.
He's
and stuff.
great, isn't he? Even his later ones are more like travel logs. I love watching them from, Spain or France, just secret passageways in France. But he, I don't think enough TV chefs actually show you sometimes how difficult things are. And then, because they're always so wondy and happy.
Yeah.
And everything's always so perfect and always comes out perfectly right. And
Except
it's
if
like,
you watch another certain celebrity chef who's F's and blinds and tells everyone that they're rubbish.
Oh yeah, well but that's part of his theatre.
But yeah,
Gordon.
I wasn't going to say his name, but I actually I really I watched his stuff from the early days, and
Is this Gordon?
Yeah.
And
I actually once. How old would I have been? Maybe 20. I queued up to get a book signed by him in London because he was there, and I was actually like, oh my god, so excited.
Yeah, but the thing with him
did he sign it?
is that
He signed it, and I bought the new book, and he signed that, but I also bought an older one that I had, and he signed that for me too.
Oh wow, how nice. Well, we could sign a book for you.
That's very
Except
kind.
we sold out, haven't we? Today?
He got one anyway.
Ah.
I knew he was coming, so I kept one aside for him.
Okay.
Of course, I need to, we've got to give one of our books to an ex-MasterChef contestant.
Oh, he's...
Oh,
but
he's
everyone-
upset now.
I'll sign it for
Everyone
you.
at
and
home.
then
There we
he's-
go. That's even better. Hey, he'll sign it for us and we'll sell it.
He's just
We'll
got
put
the
a
look on
premium
his
on it.
face. Neil's just sort of shaking his head going, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Why am I still here?
Well, let's
So there you
go.
go.
We
Well,
should
thank you
go.
for that.
Let's-
That was very interesting.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Thank you for having me. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
no,
it.
No, thank you. That
Love
was lovely.
sharing my story.
No, that's cool. That's interesting. Like, people are interested to know that sort of stuff. It's cool.
Very interesting.
Don't plan on a dish more than an hour.
Wow.
That's the one for me. Like, you can't do a braise. You can't do, you're limited by a lot.
Yeah.
Dessert, you've always got a blast
Well,
Good.
exactly.
Yeah, but
Thank
like
you
I
for
always say,
that.
good food takes time.
chiller.
Exactly. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Linda.
And so thanks for appearing on our little show. It's been great. Thanks,
Thank
Neil.
you. All right.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Linda.
Happy cooking, everybody.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this podcast as we explore home cooking in a modern world. We'd love you to subscribe, and for more information, please go to our website, cookingwithsteam.com.